Jason Vincent.
Hey guys, how we doing, man? Good Friday evening to you, Jason Vincent. Coming
Manager,
to you
done
from
co-trainer.
Denver, Colorado, man. My father's home state, man. Out here visiting my
WBF
mother.
Vice President.
I'm here for some fights tonight. We're gonna do a WBF silver title tonight.
BoxRec
at,
editor.
147 at welterweight. Very excited, man. Got an 11-0 opponent.
Matchmaker.
Versus a seasoned veteran with 40 fights. I think it's gonna be a really good.
And judge of many matches.
I'm real excited to see the fight, man. Got the belt here on hand, ready to go. World Boxing Foundation, WBF World Boxing Foundation, silver title right here, silver belt title right here. So they also got some amateur boxing matches here tonight. They got some amateur MMA tonight. I think they got some pro and amateur kickboxing Muay Thai fights tonight. So it's going to be a good time out here, man. Can't wait to do this. My first time working with Sparta. Everybody's been real nice and professional. Treat me great, friendly handshakes. A lot of people recognize me from Facebook and stuff. I've done an event out here before, so the commission knows me. So everybody, the referee, Stephen Blia, he did a silver belt title for me out here almost 2 years ago, 85 Dell. And then Stephen Blia refereed my world title fight, Mandeep Jangra, Roy Jones Jr.'s fighter, won my super featherweight, 130-pound world title in Cayman Islands this past November, a couple months ago, November 2nd. So, anyways, let me flip the camera around and let you see what we got going on here. Awesome little show right here. Got the promoter right here, Mr. Jeff. It'll be a good night of fights tonight, man. Very excited to see everybody. Got the Colorado Commission over here. Event Center, Denver, Colorado, man. Honored to be here with everybody. So it's snowing outside too, man. I'm not used to that. Vegas boys aren't used to that. So anyhow, man, everybody have a blessed evening. Hope everybody's doing well. Tune in. You can go to Sparta. I think you can go to Sparta. They got a YouTube channel. They also have a Facebook page and Instagram. Go there and check the fights out, man. I'll flip it around here so you can see what it looks like right there. And check them out, man. Everybody tune into the fights tonight, man. All right, everybody have a blessed evening, and I'll come to you guys soon, man. Very grateful, man. Take care, everybody. Be blessed. Hey, guys. How we doing? Jason Vincent here, man. Come check me out January 25th with D. Hall, Donnie Hall on the People's Show. I'll be talking about the WBF, some of the world title fights that I have coming up. Also, I'll be talking about my matchmaking that I've been doing, managing a Filipino fighter, Michael Das Marinas. And, bring all your questions and your comments, man. Can't wait to see everybody. It's going to be a great show. And it's a J. York production, so come check us out January 25th. Appreciate you guys. Woo!
In North Carolina, there's only one podcast. The podcast of the people. We report the news. We report the opinions. We give the people a voice. We give the people the plug. Plug into the People's Show. A J. York production.
let me. Oh, there we go. Can you hear me now? Can everybody hear me now? I was just running my mouth. I was just running my mouth. But anyway, I think y'all can hear me now. I have my mic muted. Sorry about that. But as I say, this is another Sunday, another Combat Sunday, man. Yeah, we got the president. I ain't talking about Trump. Now. I ain't talking about Trump. I'm talking about we got the president, the vice president, my man Jason Vincent. Before we get started, I want to say hello to everybody and thank y'all. Let me give everybody a round of applause. Give everybody a round of applause, man. You know what I'm saying? Because I know y'all are loving the program today. You're gonna be loving this program tonight. You know what I'm saying? There we go. That's right. There we go. All right. Before we go any further, y'all know what I got to do. This is an online program that is the work of talk and discussion. This is an online program that educates. Sometimes I get twisted up. Educate adult audiences. Some things may not be sensible with children. So that was a little short thing. Got twisted up there. I don't know what's going on with me today. Maybe it's just because my team is not in the playoffs. Detroit Lions. Maybe that's what it is. You know what I'm saying? I'm a little upset. You know how we get, teams out in there. We all frustrated, all that crazy stuff. And sometimes we say some things out the way. So watch your kids. You dig what I'm saying? Share the video. Share the video one time. Look, like I always tell you, you share everything else. You can, share my video. But today, I got my man, Vice President. This guy does a lot. So there's a lot of questions that I got to ask, and I know you got to ask too. There's the number running across the screen, 919-410-8736. You can call in and talk to me. No, you don't want to talk to me. I'm not the person you want to talk to. Jason is. All right, look, I want to thank y'all for watching the show. Share the video. Let's get him in here. We got to get the party started. You know how you go somewhere, you're ready to get to the party. I know y'all ready to get to the party too. Let me bring my man in. Glad to have him on. There he is.
Hey, my team's not in the playoffs either. The Denver Broncos are out too, so I know how you're feeling.
I was all messed up there for a minute, man. I couldn't get myself together there. Good to see you, Jason. Thank you for coming on the People Show, man. You're welcome here. But before we get started, I got to let the people. You got to tell everybody who you are, Jason, and where you from, bro.
All right, guys. Well, my name's Jason Vincent. I'm from Las Vegas, Nevada, out here on the West Coast. Born and raised out here. I married my high school sweetheart. Been together 34 years. I got 2 beautiful kids. I'm a dad. I'm a father. I'm a husband. And just grew up in this town playing sports since I was 4 years old. I'm 51 now. My last competitive amateur fight, I competed in judo, jiu-jitsu, boxing, kickboxing, and taekwondo. My last competitive fight was a little over 5 years ago. I was 45-ish, USA amateur boxing in the master division. So, but yeah, this is me. I'm out here from Vegas, and I have a passion for combat sports, but mostly boxing. And I'll let you ask some questions, and I'll tell you my story.
Sure. Yeah, sure, no doubt, man. You're packed, but you're packed like a box of cereal, man. You got a lot going on. But let's get right down to it, Jason. You started your career as a boxer. Tell us a little bit about that, because how that started out before you, because that leads to a lot of different things for you in the world, in the sports world of boxing and combat sports, period. So tell us about your little boxing career that you had there.
Well, I'll make a long story short, because it is a long story and it is a journey and a process. But out here in Vegas, I was a hyperactive kid back in the 70s. Parents got me in the soccer, and then got into baseball, football, did all that, did some intramural wrestling and basketball in high school and stuff like that. Then I went in the Navy. I was in the Navy a couple of years, was active in the Navy, did a lot of weightlifting and kind of wannabe bodybuilder. Did all that through my whole 20s. Got to about my late 20s, and the monotonous routine of just working out and going to the gym got old and still boring. I still enjoy it, and I still do it every once in a while, but I wanted to challenge myself. My wife and I had gotten pregnant with my oldest, my son Diego. right when I was 29. We had him at 30. And then I started getting into actually mixed martial arts. I started in on judo, a little bit of jiu-jitsu with Roy Nelson, Big Country Roy Nelson from the UFC, and some kickboxing, some Muay Thai. So I did that a couple years and just continued on with the mixed martial arts, left schools, went to Gracie Jiu-Jitsu and trained some jiu-jitsu and wrestling with them and a little bit of striking. And then I finally met my first, I'd say, real boxing coach. God, 15, 16, maybe 17 years ago. I've been doing it 20 years now, mixed martial arts and boxing 20 years. So maybe 17 years ago, a gentleman by the name of Jose Gonzalez, I still call him Coach. And he was a national champion at UNLV. He never boxed in growing up as a kid, but he was a collegiate boxer at the University of Nevada, Las Vegas, UNLV, go Rebels. And he was trained by Skipper Kelp, who's an ex-pro fighter and owns
I've heard of him.
Capital Fight boxing gym. Yeah. Out here where guys like Angelo Leo train there. And, you know, they've had many high-level guys, mixed martial artists and boxers, professional boxers. Right now, Angelo Leo is training out of there. He's the current featherweight champ, I think, WBO or IBF, I believe. So that was that. So I got with him. We started training, just messing around. He showed me some stuff. He would hold the mitts, pads for me. And then his son and my son were right around the same age, 5, 6, 7-year-old, 5 at the time. And they became friends and did taekwondo together. And so they were always at our family functions and would come over, and the boys would go play video games, and him and I would play basketball in my front yard. And he'd hold the mitts for me, and we'd actually start sparring, you know, in my little courtyard area. So I was always a boxing fan back in the in the Muhammad Ali area, Larry Holmes, but I was really a big Boom Boom Mancini fan. I'm a little Italian dude. Boom Boom Mancini. Then got to the four Kings, Ray Leonard, Duran, Hearns, Hagler, and then obviously Tyson and De La Hoya and all the way up. But so I kind of rekindled that, and I really fell in love with it, and I got pretty good on it. And then him and I started some programs at some Taekwondo schools. Did that for a while. Then I bounced around to other gyms. I trained a little bit with Fernando Vargas for Rose at his old school, probably 12, 13, 14 years ago, Rose Fight Factory. I trained with Coach Frankie Avalar, who was an NABF champion. He fought Oscar De La Hoya. And then just kind of moved around. And then kind of where this all came, I'll wrap it in a little bit here, where this all kind of came to fruition. I took a break for a while, and then I found a gym. I bartend at the swimming pool at Caesar's Palace. Been there 27 years, and I found a gym that was kind of on the way to Caesar's and on the way back on the side of town I was living on. It was called Never Quit Boxing Gym, and I just went in there to hit the bag. You know, just train, hit the bag before and after work. I kind of wasn't involved in anything, you know, in any organizations or anything like that. And I met the owner of the gym, Ramon Montano, who's an ex-professional fighter, and we used to be Floyd Mayweather's sparring partner here. It was his gym, and I knew a few people that trained there from just being around at other gyms. And I met my good friend, Coach Julio Rosario. And what Ramon did, he had amateur events out here. He still has them. He's at like number 12 or 13 called Fights of Fury. And I actually fought on one of the events, but he brought me on as a coach. He saw me kind of coaching guys, so I started coaching. And then I competed on one of his events. That was my last fight 5, 6 years ago, and I won. And then my good friend, Coach Julio Rosario, was at that gym too. And then what he did is he convinced me. We had a Roy Jones Jr. tournament. I'll wrap this up real quick and let you get going. We had a Roy Jones Jr. tournament here, and they were having a USA Boxing officials clinic where you went through the clinic and you took a test, and if you passed, you could become a USA Boxing official. You know, referee, judge, timekeeper, inspector, gloving table. So I didn't want to do it. My buddy's like, let's just go down and do it. It's free. I'm like, nah, I'm a coach and a fighter, boxer. No, let's go. You know, calling sick from work. It's hot outside. And let's go down there and just learn the rules. I'm like, it is. I need a break from work. And let's go down there and do it. So I went down there and do it and met all the guys. They were really cool and passed the, I think they helped me pass the test and, did the test. And the guy that did it, that was running it, he said, "Hey, bud, do you have a white shirt on you?" I go, "Yeah, I got it out in the car." He's like, "Go get it. You're starting today." And it just, boom, they kicked me out there to the the inspection table, the gloving table, and that's where my officiating career. So you see kind of how everything's progressing here.
Yeah. And that's what I was saying earlier. Excuse me, because what you started, this thing leads right on up to you being where you are right now today. The vice president of the WBF. And let's get into that a little bit, because that was a fantastic way that you started out, how you started out and where you are right now. But I want to touch a little bit the vice president. What, because a lot of people wants to know, and I do myself, being a vice president, what are your duties being a vice president of a WBF?
Of the sanctioning body, everything. Everything.
Okay.
So, there's a lot that goes into it. Sanctioning bodies are pretty much organizations that make championship title fights, and there's a zillion sanctioning bodies. We're the sixth rated sanctioning body in the world. We came out in 1988. We started as the World Boxing Federation. It was here in the United States. It started in Bristol, Tennessee. The guy that owned the NASCAR track in Bristol, Tennessee.
So that's where it started at, in Bristol,
Tennessee. Bristol, Tennessee. Wow. He was a race. He owned the race car. I think believe he owned that Bristol race car track where they had the NASCAR races and all that. Anyways, he started at 1988. We at one point in time we were the 4th rated sanctioning body. Now we're the 6th. And what happened there is they were very successful in the 90s and early 2000s. So I'll give you an example. Some of our former just world title holders, former ones is Roy Jones Jr. won our title 2 times in 2 different weight classes. James Lights Out Tony won it. Antonio Tarver won it. Francis Botha, the South American heavyweight that fought Mike Tyson, he won it.
You hold it right there. I got to
and
hold that thought right there. Hold your thought right there. I got a call coming.
Yeah.
Caller, what's your name? Where you calling from?
Hey, what's up? What's up?
Hey, man, how you doing?
Jay York.
Jay, what's happening, man? How you doing?
What's going on? What's going on? Calling from down here in sunny Florida today.
Well, at least you in the
it's
sun.
It's kind of hot today.
At least you in the sun.
Not snowing there. Not snowing there anymore. Wasn't it snowing this week?
Oh no, man! All that when the sun came out, it's green around here. It's greener than green. So yeah, I'm loving this weather today. But man, look, I have Mr. Jason Vincent. I am so full right now of everything that you have done and so many jobs that you have had. I just wanted to ask you, what was your favorite position that you ever held? What position did you most have fun in, and what was the most fun in learning, and what technique that you learned, like the karate, the taekwondo, or the boxing, or whatever like that? Which one was the most fun that you learned? And my second part of the question is, how much would you say that you invested financially in yourself to get where you are today? People want to know.
Yeah, those are really good questions. Those are 2 really good questions. I'll answer the second one first. A lot, because I tell you what, and I didn't get into the whole thing because I want you guys to be able to answer questions, but as I became a USA Boxing official, I traveled all over the world, even to Florida, Plant City, Florida, and I did the Chris Young, Roy Jones Jr. tournament out there a couple of years ago. But I ended up refereeing about 500 bouts in the amateurs all over the country, up to Olympic national qualifying events, and then I judged about 1,000 amateur and professional fight bouts, and then I traveled all over. I was just in over 1,000 fights, amateur and professional. And then I was just in Orlando last month at the WBA convention. I've been out there twice for the WBA. So a lot. So I would say tens of thousands of dollars with traveling and hotel and all that. Sometimes people have paid for my trip. Sometimes they paid for part of the trip. Sometimes they paid for the full trip. Sometimes I paid the hotel. They paid the gas or the room or bought me lunch. So I would say tens of thousands, but it's not even the dollar amount. It's the time amount. You know, if you put a value on that time, people, man, I put a lot of time, but I loved it. It's a passion and I love it. And I still love it today. There's things I like more than others. I'm matchmaking right now, and I'm helping the young men and women in the professional ranks get fights. I matchmade in the amateurs too, and I did promotions, but I'm doing it in the pros. It's not my favorite thing to do, but someone has to do it. And when you do make a fight and get into the ring, you kind of get
so Mr. Vincent.
What's that?
So Mr. Vincent, you're saying, so you put more into yourself than people gave you, right? I mean, I'm pretty sure, yeah, like you said, you had some people to spring for you and to help you out along your way and everything like that. But you said in the tens of thousands. So wow, that's a lot to.
Yeah.
Go ahead, sir.
If you put an hourly wage on my time, I mean, I've been in competitive, organized mixed martial arts, whether it's USA Boxing, a coach, an official, help promote an event, matchmaking, timekeeping, whatever I'm doing. I've been in organized stuff for probably 8 to 10 years, somewhere in there. You know, obviously before that I trained and competed and other things, but just as far as just being.
So you had no funding?
Very little. Like when you go to a USA Boxing when you go to a USA Boxing national event, they call it a kind of a community share program. Like your local state might kick in a little bit of money. You have to kick in a little bit of money, and then USA Boxing will cover your room for that week that you stay there, and you got to share that room with somebody. And then they provide some meals and stuff like that. Now that I'm in the pros, you don't get rich here, but I see some stuff starting to come back, if that makes sense. And then the second, back to your first question.
So very little. Go ahead. I didn't mean to cut you. I got another question though. You want me to go ahead and answer you? Okay, let me ask you this though. Go
ahead.
Yep. Go ahead. You go, sir. I
was going to tell you my favorite.
Go ahead.
My two. I'll give you two. My two top favorite martial arts or combative sports is jiu-jitsu. Brazilian jiu-jitsu is one of the most gratifying, one of the hardest things I've ever had to do in my life. And it really opened my mind up, instead of just like smashing stuff and pounding stuff, that I had to think more when I was fighting and competing and training, because you would go in there and some little 17-year-old female would twist you up and choke you out. And you're this big, strong 185-pound guy. And you either learn and try to accept it and get it and understand it, or people who just couldn't handle it and they would leave, big macho guys with egos. So jiu-jitsu and boxing are my two favorite combative sports. And jiu-jitsu is probably the hardest to train, but let me tell you this. There's nothing like getting punched in the face. I mean, nothing compares to getting punched in the face or the liver. Getting hit in the face is getting hit in the face. So that makes sense.
So you're saying very little funding. You had no sponsors or nothing like that. I mean, did you apply for loans or like grant money or anything like that?
No, if I had my own gym and it was a nonprofit, there's things that you can do. I never opened up my own gym per se. So as an official, like the nonprofit thing doesn't apply to an official. And I'll say if I was a boxer, a fighter, a boxer in the amateurs, I could go travel to events, and then you can give your receipts and sign some and fill out some paperwork with the Nevada State Boxing Commission, and they will refund all your money or part your money. So there is some programs for the kids, but as an adult or being an official or anything like that, there's nothing. There's nothing out there unless the promoter's going to pay for your room, or USA Boxing is going to pay for you to go to a national event, or your local Nevada Amateur Commission. It's called an LBC. We're LBC 49 out here. Every state or area has an LBC number. We're 49 here in Nevada. Or if they're going to contribute to you going. And I'll give you an example. One of my favorite all-time amateur tournaments is the Silver Gloves Regionals in Compton, California. 4 or 5 hour drive from here. And I went 3 or 4 years in a row, and I didn't even get a tank of gas. You know what I'm saying? I didn't get a taco, a tank of gas. I barely got a thank you. You know, I barely got it. But I did it for me and the kids. I don't do it for, I do it for me. And I do it for the kids in the community. That's what I really do it for, honestly. Honestly, God.
That's great.
Awesome. Yes, sir. And this is my last question, Mr. Vincent. I'm trying to answer the question as quick as I can, so I can get off the phone with the top of the line. But so it sounds like that you had a not so easy journey, financially, and just all the things that you went through. It sounds like you had a few trials and tests there along the way. What age were you when you say that you got actually started on your journey? What age were you?
Well, with the mixed martial arts and combative sports, I started at 30 years old, where I started training and eventually competing and eventually coaching. But as far as like being with USA Boxing and different things like that, I'm 51 now. I probably started about 43, 44, 42, 43, 44. And so, there was a lot of ups and downs.
So you moved pretty fast.
What's that?
You moved pretty fast. So you said you started at 43 and you're like 50 now. Like some of the new stuff that you started. So you've been moving pretty, not fast, but you've been moving pretty good.
Pace,
I put a lot of time. I put a lot of time into a lot. My background helped me kind of accelerate a little bit because I understand athletics, combat sports, the ins and out of it. I had a very good foundation.
You got a knowledge.
And I've been playing sports since I was 4, knowledge, training, and then growing up here in Vegas.
Haven't interfered with your personal life?
What's that? Say it again.
Your personal life. Your personal life. Has any of this interfered with personal time? Your personal life, like how do you separate the two? You're doing so much.
Yeah, that's the trick. That's tough. It's a balance. My family accept it. They know how I am. They know I'm a go-getter, and I do other things. I work for the school district. I volunteered at the VA hospital, American Red Cross. I do other stuff too besides this, but now it's just pretty much this because my time is limited. But you know what I did, man? I involved my kids, my wife, my daughter, my daughter, my son. They worked the glove table, the inspection table. They sold T-shirts. And at times I had to give up one for the other. I mean, am I going to lie to you? Yeah, there was a couple arguments. I was in trouble a couple times with my wife and daughter. I'm always in trouble. So it's a passion. It gets me out of the house. Look, my wife gets it. My kids get it. I'm not in some bar. I'm not in some casino. I'm not running around with, I'm doing something positive and productive.
Positive. Yeah.
Yeah. And I involve them. I would say about 1 out of every 3 events I do, I bring one of them along with me or all of them. Like when I was in Orlando for the WBA convention, I brought my wife and daughter. They didn't go with me 2 years ago, but this time they hung out at the pool and went to Disney and had a great time while I worked and did the convention. And I even took them to the fights. My daughter took pictures with everybody. And, man, she had a great time with Christy Martin and Jorge Linares and some of these Jake Paul guys that are fighting now on the MVP promotion, some of these guys that were actors and fighters. My daughter and my wife had a great time there. So, but it's been tough.
So would you say that would you say that the slogan behind every good man is a good woman. Would you say that was absolutely true?
Yeah, because they could have made it very difficult on me, you know, and they never made me, it never got to a bottom line where I had to choose one or the other. So yeah, and I'll say it right here. Every interview I try to do, man, I try to show love to my wife, who I've been with for 34 years, and my kids, my family, my friends, my support group, my old training partners, my coaches, everybody. Because if it wasn't for all of them, honestly, I know this sounds kind of cliche, and you hear people say this as they're moving up, but it's really the truth. If it wasn't for that group, Jason Vincent wouldn't be where he's at today, and he won't be where he's maybe going to go someday. And hopefully it's even higher to help more people. Awesome. So yeah, man, hats off to him. I love him, man. I hold them in the best regard, the highest regard, and I'm very grateful that they understand for sure.
Yeah.
Mr. Vincent, thank you so much for answering my questions today. And I hope y'all have a good show. This is Jay, and I'm out.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, man. Thanks for your questions, brother. Thank you. Good questions.
Yeah. All right. Hey, anytime, brother. Yes, sir.
Yeah, sure.
Woo!
He was batting 100 there.
That guy should be a reporter, man. That guy needs to be some kind of reporter, man. You guys better keep his number just in case he goes to some events, man. He can do some questions.
Yeah. Man, I said, man, you taking over. I said, man, he's doing my part. All I gotta do is sit here and just listen, man. Oh man, I want to say hello to some people that's coming in. Kelvin Oliver, awareness account. What's up, my man? How you doing, Kevin, out there in the Midwest? What's going on? Tony Burgess out of Spring Lake, North Carolina. Burgess Boxing and Fitness Gym there. That's my guy right there. What's happening, brother? Brandon Laskley, ring announcer. Brandon, where's it? Out in Kentucky, I do believe. They're good to see you, man. Thank you for stopping into the program today. Yeah. Brandon says, how long has he been working the WBF?
Hey, Brandon, what's up, man? Yeah, I just met Brandon kind of recently on Facebook. We've been kind of going messaging back and forth, man. Good dude out there. But 2 years. It's been 2 years with the WBF, and I didn't really get into he asked me a question earlier, or kind of what my responsibilities are, but I started out as a coordinator and supervisor. So it's two different things. So 2 years I've been with them now. The coordinator puts the title fights together. Sounds real easy. Right. You get with promoters, managers, moms, dads, coaches, fighters, whoever, and if they're worthy of some kind of title fight, whether it be 6 round, 8 round, 10 round, or 12 round, you kind of put a package together. If someone's willing to pay the sanction fee, the WBF approves the bout, they're worthy of that particular title fight. When it gets paid, they send the belt to me or send it to the promoter. And then, so that's the coordinating part of it. The supervisor part is actually flying out to the event or driving or wherever the event is. Like February 22nd here in Vegas, I just made about 7 or 8 fights, and 1 or 2 will probably, or 3 will be title fights. So the promoter doesn't have to pay any expenses because I live here. It doesn't have to pay my airfare, my hotel, my gas, my food, no nothing. So the supervisor actually goes out and supervises the weigh-in. Say the title fight's at welterweight, 147. Each opponent has to weigh at 147 or below. They can't weigh above. It's a title fight. So you supervise the weigh-ins. You make sure you get all the paperwork together, and then you supervise the title fight. So when the boxers go in the ring, you're holding the belt behind the referee. You go sit next to the supervisor while they're fighting. You keep score with them. At the end, you go in with the belt. Whoever gets their hand raised, you wrap the belt around, take pictures. You make sure all your paperwork's done. Send it over to the WBF, and that's the supervising part of the job. So I started with that, did that for about a year and a half, and they asked me to become vice president, which I was kind of doing out here. I'm vice president of the Americas, which is Canada all the way down to South America and everything in between, the Caribbean and everything. And I do everything like what I'm doing here. I do this. I do social media stuff. I run social media pages for them. I still kind of coordinate fights. I still supervise fights. I get hats, T-shirts made. I got to find a guy to get me T-shirts, which I do here now. media
Right.
stuff, promote. I mean, there's so much, many more things I do. I bring people on to help me out. I brought someone on here locally to help us do our rankings, Derek Ruiz, and he's a supervisor coordinator too. I brought on other supervisors and coordinators, and I got to train them. And, so there's a lot that goes into it.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what, you do a lot, and for the people that are coming in, the question was, before we got the phone call, I was asking him what was the duties of the vice president, which he is, of the WBF. That was the question that I had asked him for the people that are coming in now. I want to say hello to Carletta Ewell. What's up? She says hi to me and to you, Jason. Carletta Ewell, the champion. She's out over here in North Carolina, and I got to get her on. We're working on getting her on because she's a big part of North Carolina. I love all my North Carolina people. We've been working at it. We've been hitting and missing there, but we're going to get you on, Coletta. Don't worry about it. I got you covered like a blanket, no doubt. All right, here we go. My man Brandon Lasky says, I want to be in that Vegas spot. I like how he does his business. He makes want to do that. Makes him want to do that. So that's what he's saying. Yeah, no doubt. Now let's get back, because before the phone call, you was talking about some of the fighters that come out of that WBF. Let's go back to the because I know you was naming some. If you don't mind, can you name those again, please?
Absolutely. So there again, real quick, WBF's been around since 1988. We're the 6th rated sanctioning body in the world. Used to be the 4th, we're the 6th. Started in Tennessee, was there for about 15 years. Mick Croucher and it used to be called the World Boxing Federation, the original one. In 2004, Mick Croucher from Melbourne, Australia, outside Melbourne, bought it in 2004. So it's been there 21 years now. And he changed the name to World Boxing Foundation. Real popular belt here in the all over the world, but a real popular belt in the United States here in the 90s and early 2000s. So some of the former world champions, just world champions, were Roy Jones Jr., won it 2 times in 2 different weight classes. James Lights Out Tony won it. Antonio Tarver won it. Francis Botha, heavyweight, who fought Mike Tyson from South Africa. He won it. I remember him. Hector Macho Time won it. And Iceman Scully. Those are some of our world champions. Now I want to add something too. I just did an event in the Cayman Islands November 2nd, and this is kind of a cool history and lineage, the lineage of the belt. Roy Jones Jr., his boxer, his fighter, Mandeep Jangra from India, I believe the first ever world champion ever from India. And he's trained by Roy Jones Jr. out there in Tampa and Pensacola area. He won my WBF World Boxing Foundation super featherweight title, and Roy Jones Jr. cornered him. So Roy won it twice, and now his boxer won it. So you see the lineage there. It's kind of cool, man. It was cool experience.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because I know that belt is very popular, and I see it a lot. Because there's like I said, I was looking at a guy. I think this guy you're just talking about he on Facebook. He's on Facebook, correct?
Facebook and Instagram.
Yeah. I thought I saw him. James Horton. Want to say hello to James Horton. He's got a question here. James Horton out of that Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Up in Pennsylvania area. What's
the score of the game? Are the Eagles winning?
They was blowing them out 14-3. I don't know what it is right now, but he says, what should you do if you let me see, what is the question? What should do if you did boxing matches and wasn't a fair call with the referee? What should you, I guess he's trying to say, what would you do? Yeah, if it wasn't a fair call.
So, whether it's a title fight or just a regular, fight, 4-rounder, 6-rounder, 8-rounder on a show, you always got to get with the, if you don't like the call, and you got to get with the promoter, and you got to get with the athletic commission. Those are 2 things you got to do right away, and they got paperwork and different things to file an appeal. And different things like that. And I'll give you 2 examples. And it wasn't a referee, but it was 2 judging things that I was involved with. One was one of my former champions out of Denver, Colorado, my silver champion, Jaden Vigel. He was fighting for a WBC youth belt his last fight. It was in Denver, Colorado, his home state. They brought someone in from Australia. I watched the fight. Clearly, he won the fight. It was a 10-round fight. Clearly, he won the fight 7 rounds to 3, 8-2. At worst, a bad decision would have been 6 rounds to 4, but it was more a 7-3, 8-2, and it went a split decision towards the other guy, the Argentinian guy. So his dad, Julian, who's a friend of mine, protested it. He sent me the video, and I sent it out to, I don't know, 3, 4, 5, or 6 different judges that I know around the country that are professional judges. I had them score it, send it back to him. He sent those results to the WBC and the Colorado Commission, and they overturned it. Just do a no contest. So there was no winner, no loser. They just no contest. So that's one example. Second example with the WBF, the World Boxing Foundation, we had a title fight, a world title fight, I don't know, 2 months ago, 3 months ago in Thailand. And it was a young man from Australia who was undefeated, and a hometown favorite, Thailand legend guy fighting, older guy. He was a legend out there. Same thing.
Right.
It was a 12-round fight. This kid went out, won 7-5, 8-4, probably 9-3. 9-3. And they went the other direction because it was, home cooking and all that. And Mick Croucher, the president of the WBF, and Paulie Saunders, who's the senior vice president and sanctioning chairman, asked me to find some judges. I did. I found them 4, 5, or 6 again. We sent the video. They judged it. We got it to the commission. We got it to Mick. All of them, all 6 judges, just the same thing with Jaden Vigel. And with this fight in Thailand, all of them went for the guy that was on the losing end. So we turned that into a no contest too. So those are different things that you can do to try to resurrect the situation. Hopefully that answers the question.
Yeah, it does. It does. That's great answer. Yeah, great answer for that. That was for James Horton. He asked that question. Yeah, great answer, man. Great answer. Here we go. I want to say hello to Chris Simmons, my man, Chris Simmons. Thank you for joining us today, coming on the program. I see you. Coletta Ewell said, been following Jason for some years now. Thank you for explaining about the names of the sanctioning of the WBF. Yes. Yeah, that's good information. That's why he's here today. Y'all can call in. Any questions that you got, you're welcome to call in. You see the number strolling along there, 919-410-8736, or you can call.
Donnie, I'd like to add something to that just real quick. It'll be a real quick one. There's a lot of different sanctioning bodies, a lot. Everybody calls that alphabet soup or the ABCs. So there again, we're the 6th rated sanctioning body. We used to be the 4th, but they call the Big 4. The top 4 sanctioning bodies are called the Big 4, which is, and I'm not going to name them in order, but the WBC, the WBA, the IBF, and then the WBO. WBO is based out of Puerto Rico. IBF, I believe, is in Chicago. WBC is in Mexico. And WBA is down in Central and South America. President Mendoza out there. So those are those. And then the IBO is big over in England and Europe. They're the 5th. And then the World Boxing Foundation, now not federation anymore. People get it mixed up because someone restarted the federation in 2009 in South Africa. And that's not us. We're the foundation. We're the original one. So that just a little history lesson on. And then you got many more below us of the sanctioning bodies. So go ahead, sir.
Yeah. Well, that's good because a lot of people need to understand the order, the lineup, how it goes, because this is, you're explaining it real well. And I'm glad that you are, because there's some people up here that might want to, need that information. And I'm glad you've done that and explained that quite well. And some of the fighters that has won that belt and moved on to bigger and bigger belts, like the WBC, the WBO and all that. So this is good.
D Hall, that's a good point right there too. So with my belts, I have a 6-round silver WBF USA silver 6 rounds. I have a silver 8 rounds. I have an international 10 rounds. I have an intercontinental, which 10 to 12 rounds, and then I have my world title 12. But what we do is we have the luxury, since we're the 6th rated sanctioning body, and we still want worthy fights. We don't want We're not just going to sanction anybody. We want worthy fights. But what I can do is I can get people, these young people that are coming up that are 5-0, 6-0, 8-0, 10-1, whatever it is, and they got good rankings, that the big four aren't sniffing around them yet, not yet. I can go ahead and offer them title fights like Mandeep Jangra, Roy Jones Jr.'s guy. He wouldn't have got a title fight for 3, 4, 5, 6 more fights, before he got offered some kind of belt with the big four. I'm able to do that and get these kids in my belts and my rankings. We have rankings. We have world rankings, North American ranking. We have all female rankings. We have rankings too. So they go in our rankings.
Okay. So question. There's a question. I want to say hello to Christian Smith, my man. What's up, Christian? A ring announcer out of Texas down that way. What's up? Yeah, Texas. Carletta says, so the IBF isn't located in Jersey anymore?
I thought the IBF was in Illinois or Chicago is what I thought. And Derek, Mr. Peoples is the president of the IBF. I believe it could be in Jersey, but I thought it was in Chicago. I know the WBF's in Australia, so that's what I know.
Yeah.
But if you Google that, can you Google that for us, Carletta? Can you Google that for us and find out, so you can teach me something, please? Thank you.
Teach us all something. Google that if you don't mind, Carletta. She also says all of those sanctioned names named didn't want to have anything to do with female boxing, because at the start it was just WIBA. Ryan Winslow and WBIF GU/GBU Barbara Budrick, who is now retired. Okay. I guess you're saying some of those, they didn't want to have anything to do with female boxing.
Yeah, female boxing and female sports. Let's just go way back here, and I'll get back to female boxing. But female sports, like my little nephew plays baseball, bunch of females out there. He plays hockey right over here by me. Hockey, there's girls out there, hockey. So just female sports in general, back in the day they were labeled men's sports or boys sports or guys sports. Those barriers are I think are hopefully in our review mirror where they belong. It is so exciting when I referee and judge and go to amateur events and the females are boxing and fighting. And I'll tell you what, I'll give you an example here real quick. I've refereed about 500 fights in the amateurs. One of my top 3 fights that I'm getting goosebumps already, getting ready to tell you. Take a deep breath here so I don't break down on you. It might be my favorite. It's top 3. And I will remember from my whole life. I was doing the master boxing tournament here in Las Vegas a few years ago. Master boxing division in USA Boxing is 35 years and up. And I've refereed guys in their 70s before, fighting. But to this bout, it was 2 females in their mid to late 60s, somewhere in their 60s. I'd say mid. It might even been late. Boxing it out. And it was a great technical, hard fought. There were 1.5 rounds. And I was wiping tears off my face. They both finished the fight and hugged each other, hugged me. And I was wiping tears off my eye when I raised their hand and hugged. And I bowed to each one. And it was just such a memorable moment for me in my career. And it's something I'll never forget. And it always keeps me humble and reminds me why I'm doing what I'm doing too. So, female has come a long ways, and it needs to be the bias or anything needs to be in the review mirror and let that thing just explode like it is doing.
She also says female sports did not generate the dollars as it is today.
Well, that's part of the big, and that's part of the big turnaround. When you start getting sponsorships and media and all that, well, that makes a huge difference. And go for it, man. Hey. Rightfully so, man. The girls, man, I get goosebumps when I watch them, man. They're awesome. They're awesome. They're entertaining. They're awesome. And man, I I really do
Yeah.
love it, man. I really do.
I think they give it. I think they give it all they got when they get in that ring. That's what I really think. About when it comes to females, they really give it all they got. She says the IBF is located in Springfield, New Jersey. That's where
All
it's
right,
located. That's what
you
she said.
taught me something. I'll never say Chicago again. I know the last couple of conventions they kind of had in Chicago. Maybe the last one might have been in Puerto Rico, but I'll never say that. New Jersey.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Don't say that no more. I know that's right. Don't say that. I'm gonna blow the horn. You say that again. Here we go. Let's move a little bit further. Yeah, man, I'll blow the horn on that one. There you go. Because let's get it Bach rec. Most of us know about Bach rec, but it's where a lot of boxers' information is located, and you have a part into. Explain your position, Jason, if you would, and how that works for you in Bach rec.
Yeah, I use box rec 10, 20, 30 times a day. It's a integral part of my business, managing and training and coaching and matchmaking and supervising and trying to make title fights. It's a tool in a company that is needed. And what I do for box rec is I'm a amateur box rec editor for box rec. And what that means is I don't write articles and all that. Is what I do is I go to the events and I get a bout sheet, and it has the red corner's name and the blue corner's name and what age and what weight class they are. And I watch the fights, the bouts, and whoever wins, I circle the winner. And then I write how they won. Was it they won by points? I don't put split or anything like or unanimous. I just put points, or say it was a walkover, or the rest stopped the contest, RSC. I write that in there, and then I get all that information. Say they have 20 fights on that event, 20 bouts. I go home to my computer, I log on, and I put all that stuff in. I'll make an event profile, an event profile, the date, where it was at, who the promoter, matchmaker, all that. Who the referees were for each bout, so the referees get credit. I put both kids in, the red corner and the blue corner, and then who won and how they won. So even if you lost, you still have a box rec profile. Some of these kids I have here, I've been doing it for a year now. Well, I can log on and hit their name, and they pop right up because I've already put some of the names on. But say they don't have a box rec profile yet, I create one for them. I'll put their name in, what weight class, male, female, are they from Las Vegas, San Diego? I'll put all that in. And now they have a box rec profile. And that box rec profile stays with them if they go into the professional ranks. So that's their box rec profile. I'll have a little ID number on it, and I'll send them an email address to Gray Johnson here in the United States, and they can send their little picture. So they get their picture up there. That if they got a little fighter's name or, the hurricane or the monster, I'll put that in there. And now they have that. Now, if they do go into MMA or they fight in one of the leagues or they go into professional boxing, that is their box rec for them. I start them off in the amateurs, and they have that all the way into into the professional ranks.
Yeah. Okay. Colette says, I guess box rec doesn't give all the correct fights that the fighters have. Up to current up to date. It's basically a guide. Yeah. Sometimes it's not correct.
It's a guide. Not everything's on there. I've had people fight in Mexico. See, when you fight professionally, everybody gets upset with box rec, but it's really the commission. It's up to the commission to get with the box rec editor and send those results. And it's not just you just send the results. They got to know the full name, where they're from. They want a picture. There's a criteria. There's like 5, 6, 7, 8 things they need to do it. And then box rec puts that up on the box rec. So people get upset with box rec, and box rec's not perfect either. But a lot of times it's the commission and the promoter don't have the correct information, or they never got that information to box rec to put up on box rec. And that's the majority of it. You guys there? You froze up on me.
You can't be seen. Oh, we're back. Oh, we're back. Let's miss some. Oh, wow. And we're back. All right. Yeah. I mean, you know how this stuff works, man. Sometimes this stuff is like hit and miss. Usually it's pretty good on my end. I don't know what's going on today, but anyway. Jay says, what do you do to relax, man?
I still train, man. I still train. I mean, I'm not sparring anymore. I've taken a lot of shots to the head. I tore my bicep tendon and my labrum. I blew out my ACL, broken hands, feet, bad back, shots in my elbow. So I don't train hard, but I still walk. I'll still skip rope a little bit. As I'm getting older, I try to shadow box at least 30 minutes a day, try to walk after meals, a little bit of light jogging, push-ups, some arm curls, shoulders, and then I'll go out in the garage and I'll hit the bag at least 3 days a week. This time of year, I bartend at the pool at Caesar's Palace, at the swimming pool, so obviously it's winter time. So I get 4 months off every year. So I do that, but then when I'm back at work and I'm doing boxing and bartending, and family stuff, it gets really, really intense to say the least. And those are the times of year where I'm hitting the heavy bag pretty much every morning before I go to work, so I don't choke somebody out.
I know that's right, man. You got a lot going on. I want to say hello. You got a lot going on, man. I tell you, I want to say hello to Rich. Big Rich, good to you. Good to see you, brother. Thank you for stopping in on the People Show. We're live with the Vice President of the WBF, World Boxing Foundation, Jason Vincent, a man of many, many, many duties. I gotta want to know, you're a rep. You repped a lot, Jason. Has there ever been about where you said, "Man, I should have stopped this fight earlier"?
Yeah, in the beginning, I had a few of those in the beginning. Every ref does. There's not a ref in the amateurs or pros that's never happened to, especially if you've done 50 or 100 or more. There's some that I wish I would have stopped. Not many, but there's a few I wish I would have stopped a little early. There's some that I was getting ready to stop and I didn't. I let it go a little bit more because I was a fighter myself. So I kind of had the eye. I saw them kind of still coming back, even though it was getting close to getting stopped. And I'm glad I did not stop it because it turned into a great bout. And then there's some I stopped a little early. And the ones you stop early, I guess you don't regret because, I've talked to Joe Cortez, who's I'm going to throw name drop here now. Kenny Bayless, Joe Cortez, Robert Oil, Tony Weeks. They were all my mentors, Celestino Ruiz. And they've stopped bouts before where they got booed out of the building. Yeah. And the boxer goes back to the locker room and passes out, and they're rushing him to the hospital. Wow. And that's happened many a times. And Joe stopped it, or whoever stopped it, and the crowd's booing and throwing stuff, and horrible ref. So, look, I want to get these kids home. I want to get them back to school on a Monday if it's the amateurs. As a pro, they got families. Some guys still work. These people have their lives ahead of them. This is just a sport. It's better to stop. It's better to stop them too soon than too late. Yeah, it really is.
Yeah, exactly. Great answer. Yeah, great answer. Yeah. But I got to ask you about, because you got a big event that y'all did over here in the United States called a battle at the bridge. Tell us a little bit about that, because the UK is involved in America. What's going on with that?
I got two of them coming up. So I got one first here at February 22nd at the Westgate Hotel. We have professional boxing. We're trying to get back to these 4 and 6 and 8 round events that I grew up with at the Showboat, the Texas Casino, the Rio, the Hacienda, the Silver Slipper, the old Aladdin Casino, the old Hilton. And not everything be Canelo or Benavidez or who Mayweather or De La Hoya back in the day. We want to get back to these 4. We still want those events, but we want to get back to these local kids and regional kids able to have a chance to compete in Vegas in the pros, transferring from the amateurs into the pros. So February 22nd, Reed Boxing Promotions. We're going to have probably anywhere from 5 to 8 bouts, hopefully closer to 8. And I'm matchmaking on it. And some will be title fights too, I'm hoping here. We're working on that. And it's professional boxing, 4, 6, and 8 round events. I think the main event's 10 rounds. And that is here, Westgate Hotel, February 22nd, Las Vegas, Nevada. So if you're out and about, or you hear this, or you want to come out, it's the same weekend we're having our master boxing tournament, our amateur USA boxing tournament. So if anybody's coming out for that and wants to come to a pro event too, we're having that. So please, you can always follow me, Jason Vincent, on Facebook, and I put all the links up for ticket purchases, or you can buy them at the box office at the Westgate Casino. And then the battle at the bridge. What that is I'm working with a gentleman by the name of John. He's a promoter over there, and Dennis Hobson. Dennis Hobson's a world famous promoter. He had Ricky Hatton back in the day and many more English fighters over in England. Yeah. And if you go on BoxRec, he has like 180 or 190 promoted events that he actually promoted. And they came up with this concept years ago, and it finally kind of came into fruition. He's been talking to me about it for a year or two. We fought a couple times in the Cayman Islands. My fighter, Michael Das Marinas, the last 2 years, where I was able to meet Dennis, and we talked year round and collaborate. We just had this USA versus the UK, USA versus UK in Brownsville, Texas this past October. We finally got it off the ground and had it. Roy Jones Jr. is the team captain for USA. Spencer Oliver is the team captain. He's famous in England, team captain for England. So they asked me to matchmake for this. They've been talking to me about it for about 6 months, and then I saw him in Brownsville, Texas. We talked more. I saw him in the Cayman Islands, November 2nd, where I fought. My fighter fought, and I did the world title for Roy Jones's fighter who won it, Mandeep Jangra. And so they got with me probably middle of December, beginning to middle of December, and we started working on this. And I'm bringing over, right now, I'm bringing over about 11 or 12 American professional boxers. We're going over to London, England. It's at the world famous Chelsea football soccer stadium in one of the ballrooms. And we're going to do it. And what it is, these are 5-round fights. Some of them are 6 rounds. They're 5-round professional fights, real fights. They go on BoxRec, Fight Facts, all that, real fights. And you get, not only are you fighting individually for yourself and your team and your family, but you're fighting for the USA too. What I mean by that is if you win by decision, you get a certain amount of points. If you win by knockout or TKO, you get some more points. And that goes into the USA, Team USA total points. And at the end of all these, they'll add up the points and give a trophy and have a ceremony and all that. So when we had it in Texas in October, it ended up being a tie. No one took the trophy home. So now we're bringing it to England and doing it. And now we're already starting to work on, we're trying to find an event center. We want to bring this to Las Vegas for the next one. So it'll be America, England. We'll kind of ping pong it back and forth. But this time we're trying to get in Las Vegas, hopefully in August or September. We're working on it.
That's good. Yeah, that's good. I know Jay said we need some tickets to come out to that. Come out there one day.
You guys come out, I'll get you a pair of tickets. You guys come out, I'll get you a pair of tickets.
I hope. I'm the
matchmaker, so I hope they get tickets.
All right, last thing I want to know. Boxing is global now. It used to be the American had it all. American was doing everything. American fighters, heavyweights, and we was just a bad boy. But now times has changed. It's just like streaming is in effect, everything. What do you think would make boxing even better in now at this point in time? What would make it even better in your opinion?
I think there's a few things. There's a lot of things the amateurs can do better, and there's a lot of stuff that professionals can do better. One of the things I would like us to kind of not get past, but kind of deal with and accept and add into the norm of professional boxing, where if you have a loss, your career's not over. If you come to fight and you're professional and you're easy to deal with and you're grateful and you're humble and you help the promoter promote the event on your social media and you do everything that's required and you do that and you fight hard and maybe you come up a little short, that your career's not over. That way we can do kind of what the UFC does. You know, John Jones is probably the most deadly man on this planet. But the guy, you know, he only's got 1 or 2 losses. But he fights everybody. And if he loses, he loses. He lives to fight another day. And that's what I like about the UFC. Just because you have 1 loss and you win 2 or 3 or 4 in a row, and then you get another loss and you win another 2 or 3 or 4 in a row, you're going to have a career. And you're taking fights. And that's what we need. One thing I've learned, and you say, oh, I got all these jobs, and I got all these jobs. But the reason why I've done it is I don't want to be a master of one. I kind of want to be the jack of all trades, like a general contractor. I just don't want to be a good carpenter contractor or concrete or an electrician. I want to know all of them. Someday I might run an athletic commission. Who knows? Someday I might have my own sanctuary. Who knows where I go? But I want to learn everybody's job. And what I've learned now that matchmaking is people don't take fights. You know, they don't take fights. And that's not a good thing. And here in Nevada, not in other states, but here, and I've done fights and bouts in other states, but here in Nevada, the athletic commission is pretty strict or stringent. And what I mean by that is they want safety. They want everybody to get MRIs and the blood and the urine and the fit to fight from the doctor and the eye test, but they want an MRI. They're a state that wants an MRI, a brain scan, an MRI, MRA. A lot of states don't do that. Safety. Second of all, our executive director, Jeff Mullen, and the commissioners before, they want competitive fights. They want 50-50 type fights, maybe 60-40, 65-35 is on the fringes. They don't want a guy that's 100 to 0 or 90 to nothing or 90 to 10. They don't want white guys. They don't want people getting hurt. They want competitive fights and all that. And what's happening is, and I get it, at the beginning of your career, you got to build up. You got to build, and I get it. But once you get to a certain level, man, take the fights. You know, we need you to take the fights. If the money's right and everybody agrees on everything, you know, take the fight, man. Take the fight.
Well, I mean, you know, it's what you're just saying. I mean, if you're good and you want to, you got to get better. You just don't want to be good. You want to be better. So the only way you're going to be better if you take the next level fight, you know, on an even playing field. Now I'm talking about on an even playing field, as you're saying, and you know, and that's the thing that's going on now. I see over here, you know, somebody is better than the other person. It's to me, that's, you know, it's always going to be somebody better, but make it an even fight. And then we can see who's better.
How are you going to bring the fans? How are you going to get the fans out? Yeah, promoting and social media and all that. And, you know, that is very important. But you're going to get the fans by having good, competitive, evenly matched fights. 50-50, 60-40. Doesn't mean it could be someone could go in and get knocked out in 1 minute. But chances are you're probably going to have a good competitive fight. And here's the thing. The boxing fans and the fight fans across the board, they're not dumb. They're not stupid. A lot of them have been watching it for generations. And now with the UFC and kickboxing and boxing and amateurs and pros and it's all over. It's saturated. So people are more educated on it. It's still entertainment. It's sports entertainment, but it's still a sport. And people want to see good fights. You know, like those old Mickey Ward, Arturo Gatti. People were calling each other like, hey, turn on this fight. These are two guys that were French world-class type fighters. And they had 3 fights, a trilogy. But people were calling your friends up like, man, you need to turn on HBO or Showtime, man. Check this out. And that's what you need. You need that type of stuff, sir.
And I think a lot of it, Yeah, it makes a lot. It makes a lot of sense. It makes a lot of sense. Wow, man, it really does. And you know, and you know, in boxing in any combat sport, you know, it's first. I think it's you know, it's about as you just said, you know, competition, good competition, then comes to the pay because I put the competition first because that's how you get your pay. You earn it. Well, you earn that, so you fight the best competition, and you know, and now you know you seems like America, and I'm saying America because see, like we're falling behind a little bit. Now this thing's global. It's you got them over in Japan, you got them out here in Russia. You got what I'm saying is you got fighters good everywhere now. It used to be where we was the right. Right, exactly. So it's no more America. It's global now. It's, you know, you got to go. I mean, look at Yusuf. He went everywhere and fought anybody, anytime, anywhere. Didn't matter. That's why he's the heavyweight champion today. But yeah, gotta say, man,
D Hall, and real quick, that's in sports in general. You're a Detroit
yeah,
Lions fan. I'm a Denver Bronco. Either of them are in anymore. So when the Super Bowl hits, and whoever it is, I hope it's not Kansas City, I hope it's Buffalo, but whoever is in, I'm not a fan of either one of them, but I want to see a good competitive game, right? I don't want to see a 45-10 game. I want to see if it's Josh Allen versus the Eagles against Hurts. I want to see blow for blow, man. I want to see action. I don't want to see a 32, and nor does America. Besides, if you're a Buffalo fan, you want to see a blowout, and if you're a Eagle fan, you want to see a blowout. But everybody else doesn't want to see a blowout.
Yeah, that's right. And you know, it's just like you know, and then we're gonna close the show. But you know, pay-per-view is over with now. There's no more pay-per-view, and I'm saying that because who's gonna pay for an uneven fight? 89.99, almost, you know, 99, whatever they used to be. Nobody's going to do that anymore. People streaming now because you know why? Because they overdid it. They overdid it with the pay-per-view. Who in the world going to see a A+ fighter fight a C+ fighter? Come on now. That's just ridiculous. I'm not paying no $79.99 for something like that. I want to see a competitive fight. And that's what American people want to see. And anybody, period, of globally, you know. But yeah, we're just getting into it, man. I appreciate you for coming on the show today, man. We learned a lot today on the People Show, man. It's been awesome today, brother. We went through this thing today, man.
I even learned something.
Any questions?
The IBF is in New Jersey. I learned something. The IBF, the International Boxing Federation, is in New Jersey. I learned something too.
Yeah, no doubt, man. Any questions you may have for me?
No, man, I appreciate you having me on. I'm grateful to share my knowledge and my wisdom, I guess, if I have any, I guess. But anytime you want me to come on your show once a year, whatever, and update people on what's going on twice a year, I'd be more than happy. You and I talked on the, talked if you want Joe Cortez or any of my circle to get on, we'll try to help you guys get going and get them on here. And man, just grateful to be on, man. Awesome talking to you. Did an awesome job. I like the people calling in. That was awesome and spontaneous. And anytime you want to have me back, please have me back, man. Very, very grateful. So thank you.
Oh yeah, no doubt. Yeah, thank you so much, man. We appreciate you coming on. I think you are the first vice president to ever come on my program, and I've been doing this thing for 4 years. I mean, don't y'all quote me on this. Like, yeah, I was vice president of such. All right, man. We really appreciate it, man. What does the D Hall People Show and J York Productions mean to you, Jason?
You know what it means, man? It means good people, a great production. You guys are on top of everything. You and I have been kind of working on this, I guess, 6 or 8 weeks now. You're very patient with my schedule. Got with Jay York, sent him pictures and videos. He crafted some great stuff up that I was able to put out on Facebook and Instagram. And man, you guys are A+, A1, man. And I wish you guys the best and continued success. And we need people like you guys in the business to spread the word, whether it's boxing or life issues or whatever you guys are content you're putting on. We need people like you to keep doing what you're doing, keep pushing, keep grinding, man. And I'm grateful that you guys had me on, and woo, let's go, baby.
Yes, sir.
Let's go.
We appreciate you, Jason. Thank you for coming on the show. And we'll be getting back with you this year because we got you're like a book of knowledge up here, man. And I appreciate you and thank you so much for coming on my program, man.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate you guys. Thank you.
All right, we'll see. Yes, sir. All right, man. Great show today. There you have it, my man Jason. Man, I tell you, he's full of knowledge. I appreciate everybody. Let me give everybody a round of applause right now. Yeah, man, I tell you, that was good. That was good. I like that. I like having Jason on. He brought a lot of knowledge, to the platform today. And I hope somebody learned something about, from what he said. We learned a lot today from Jason, the vice president of the WBF, and the fighters that come from there. So that produces, they put fighters, world champions. He told you who they were. You know what I'm saying? He told you. Hey, look, we're going to be back next Sunday with Celebrate Boxing, the face of Celebrate Boxing, Trey Morningstar. Man, we can't wait to get him on. Boy, we know there's going to be some action there, no doubt about it. But, it's the people show. So we not only do we do boxing, sports, we do it all. Your artists, law enforcement, school teachers, anything. I mean, swimmers, it don't matter. Tennis players, we bring you right here on this show right here. Because we are a voice for the people. And that's what we are here for. Look, we're going to get ready to get out of here. Thank y'all so much. Like I said, we'll see y'all next Sunday at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I thought I was going to have a guest for Thursday. But I don't know. We may have one. We're not for sure yet, but definitely for Sunday. Look, I got to go. Y'all take care. We'll see you next time. Thank you. And to our guests, we appreciate you, man. Thank you so much, Jason.
In North Carolina, there's only one podcast. The podcast of the people. We report the news. We report the opinions. We give the people a voice. We give the people the plug. Plug into the People's Show. A J. York production.
That's our time on The People's Show. Join us next time with our new exciting guest. To be a guest on The People's Show, email dmost42@gmail.com. The People's Show is a J. York production. Thanks for your comments, call-ins, and questions.